Hey there, all you knuckle draggers and mouth breathers on the internet. My name's Adam, and welcome to the first of what I hope to be many book talks. And tonight, I'd like to kick this channel off by talking about a book that I read recently that I really enjoyed. It was all the rage of 2022. I'm a little late to the game on this one, but anyway, it is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This being Miss Zevin's 10th novel, I believe. Um, First of her books that I've ever read. I found out about this from my teenage daughter who had picked it up and said she wanted to read it. I looked at the description. I'm looking at this like, this looks pretty good. I think I might read this. In fact, so I actually read it before she did, and now she's reading it. But I'm going to try not to get too spoilers here. But I want to say that this was a really good book. I enjoyed this. It's a love story, but not in the typical sense, not in the romantic sense. This is definitely not some spicy read. Uh, Basically, it's a book about the deep, meaningful love between friends that spans years, it spans decades. It's also a story of pain. It's a story of loss and coping, and ultimately of resiliency as well. Um, it's the kind of book that I finished it a few weeks ago, but I still find myself thinking about it quite a bit in the passing in the days and weeks that have passed. Um, if like me, if you're someone who remembers in elementary school sitting in a computer lab somewhere playing the Oregon Trail, then I think that there will be an extra special bit of connection to the story and to the setting. Um, Although the book starts off in the 1980s, it's I'd say the bulk of it spans probably from like the mid 90s to the mid 2000s, and there's a lot of nostalgia for a lot of the stuff that was going on in the video game industry during that time. Now, that's not to say that you have to be into video games to enjoy the book. I think that someone who doesn't give a rip about video games could still pick this book up and read it and thoroughly enjoy it. That just happens to be the backdrop for some of the events, because you've got these kids that get in that they connect over video games. Then when they're in college, they are learning how to program and code, and they decide they're going to write a game together, start their own company, and that's kind of the career track that the protagonists of the book follow. But like I said, if you don't know anything about games, you don't care about video games, don't let that stop you. This is ultimately not a book about video games. It's a book about it's about the people. This is a character driven book. um, but if you are into games, that's nice. Like I said, it's a nice nostalgia trip for those of us who, I'd say, maybe if you're 40 something, and I feel like in some ways maybe we weren't the target demographic, but unintentionally, just by circumstance, we end up really connecting with it quite a bit. So um, I really love how Gabrielle Zevin makes the readers feel, uh, along with some of these characters. When they are frustrated, I felt frustrated with them. When they hurt, I felt hurt with them. When they were, I was irritated and pissed off alongside them. And um, when painful events occur in their lives, like I said, there's empathy there. Um, I think I just said this, but I'm gonna say it again. I hurt alongside them. There's some really great interactions also between one of the main characters and his grandparents. I thought there was some of my favorite parts of this book were when Sam is getting advice from one scene. I think he was talking to his grandfather, and another scene in the book he's talking to his grandmother. And some of there were brief scenes, but some of the advice that they gave that was applicable to Sam in the moment, but I really thought it was like really good life advice that's applicable to anybody at any age. The kind of life lessons that you know, the earlier in life we learn it, the better. But sometimes some of us are hard headed and we may not really think about it much until we are well into adulthood. I'm not going to spoil exactly what all that was right now, but simply put, I'd say I really, really enjoyed this book. I do highly recommend it for general audiences. It's not some kind of genre fiction that, you know, like you got to be into this or that genre to be able to enjoy it. No, I'd say if you like a good story that's character driven with a little bit of nostalgia, then pick it up. You'll you'll like it. Um, I've seen some reviewers say they thought that the book was kind of pretentious. Eh, I don't know. I mean, I'm maybe one chapter or something. There was one chapter that where it there was a little. It's kind of like a make or break thing. It was written like from the like as if you were inside a game that was being written. I don't know how else to describe it. From a lot of people, it's either their favorite chapter or their least favorite chapter. It didn't really work all that great for me. I just wanted to get through it, but I respect what Gabrielle Zevin was doing with it. I applaud her for trying to do something a little different. Didn't really connect with me that as well as it has with a lot of other people, but you know what? That's okay. Um, it was neat. Um, the other thing I will say, it wasn't all great for me. My biggest complaint actually, um, not to sound nitpicky, but earlier I mentioned this takes place primarily between the mid '90s to the mid 2000s. I actually looked back through the text to try to double check this, but the bulk of the book spans between 1996 and 2005, and then there's a little bit of it there. I think the final parts of the book are in like 2011, and there was some stuff in here that seemed a little bit out of place and took me out of the moment in time, like stuff that seemed much more 2022. Um, there's a character in a video game that Sam and Sadie are making, and there's this big recurring discussion early on about making this protagonist um, like non-gendered and using they and them pronouns to refer to the protagonist of this game. And also, in another discussion that apparently is taking place in 1993 in a flashback, one of the main characters, um, Marx, it is, I believe, uh, is referencing Shakespeare. And he refers to Shakespeare as saying he or they, whatever Shakespeare is, end quote. And I don't know, that just kind of bugged me. I'm not trying to make a statement here on pronouns, but even if you're totally on board with they them pronouns being used in the singular form, I know that that's in vogue, but even if this doesn't bother you in a general sense, this is a conversation that would not have been happening in 1993. Um, as someone who was alive and old enough in the 90s to this, I know that's not how people talked in 1993. If somebody suggested that Shakespeare um, used any pronouns other than he, you know, everybody would have looked at you like you just grew a second head. That just not talking about what people say today, but in 1993, that was not a thing. If you were making a game and referring to your protagonist with non-gendered pronouns and correcting people when they referred to the protagonist as a he, that would have been a little weird. So for me, that kind of broke. Like I said, that broke things in the moment. Took me out of the moment of the nostalgia, and it's like, you know, when you're reading something that's in the '90s, it's like, wait, that just did not feel like 1993 or 1996 anymore. That definitely felt like 2022 kind of stuff creeping in there. But it did not ruin the book for me. Um, Great book. Um, I hate that I went on that long about that. It really was a minor thing, but I had to throw it out there. It bugged me. You know what? Your mileage may vary, um, but check it out. Or if you've already read it, um, comment below. Let me know what you thought. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Um, what did you like? What did you not like? Or maybe if watching this has inspired you to pick it up and give it a try, let me know that too. I'd love to hear from you, and hope to I hope that you'll enjoy future videos. And thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time this evening.